Earlier today, I received my AirPods 2 days earlier than the scheduled delivery date, so I've been enjoying them and playing with them, getting acquainted with them for the last few hours. The AirPods were, of course, first revealed back at Apple's iPhone 7 event in early September and have endured some delays, but they finally arrived just prior to the end of 2016. Now, we've seen numerous unboxings already and first impressions, so I thought I'd put together a list that highlights some of the top features for Apple's groundbreaking wireless earbuds. So here it is. The most obvious top feature when it comes to the new AirPods is that they are truly wireless. This means that each AirPod is its own separate entity that features no cord or cable to connect. This lends a much greater amount of freedom than standard earpods, and it's even better than the so-called wireless Bluetooth earbuds such as those from Beats PowerBeat line. While 5 hours of battery life for the AirPods might not seem like much, you have to remember that the unit comes with a rechargeable charging case. The charging case provides enough extra juice to recharge the AirPods several times over throughout the day, which greatly extends the overall battery life of the buds while out and about. And unless you plan on keeping your AirPods in your ears for more than 5 hours consecutively, then there should be plenty of battery life to go around. Speaking of the charging case, it's by far one of the best features of the new AirPods. Often mocked in early reviews for looking like a dental floss container, the charging case with its metal contacts that interface with the metal ends on each AirPod is really the secret sauce that makes the long battery life a possibility. Not only does the case provide you with a great way to store your AirPods while not in use, it allows the buds to be small and light since they don't have to bear the brunt of the battery duties. The AirPods charging case provides up to 24 hours of battery life and can be easily recharged via the lightning port on the bottom, and Apple actually includes a lightning cable inside the box. In just 15 minutes, the AirPods can be charged via the charging case to provide up to 3 hours of battery life. This means that as long as you keep the charging case on your person, you'll rarely be without music while on the go. Like the AirPods are small and light, which means that wearing them for an extended amount of time shouldn't be an issue. And the fact that the unit lacks a cord makes the whole setup feel even more lightweight because there's nothing tugging on your ears. The lack of a wire contributes much to the AirPods' ability to stay firmly planted in your ears. One of the contributing factors to the AirPods fit conundrums had a lot to do with the weight of the wires tugging at the AirPods in your ears. Now that those wires are no longer there, it's easier to keep the units in the ear. Now that's definitely not to say that some users won't have problems with the AirPods falling out, because they will, unfortunately. I did a simple jogging in place exercise and noticed that the left AirPod began to slip out of my ear. So don't expect these things to fit perfectly if you have problems with the AirPods, but it should be a little bit better because there's not that wire tugging at your ear. Compared to the stock Lightning AirPods, the AirPods sound noticeably better. That's not to say that there's a huge, massive increase in sound quality, but the AirPods do sound clearer than the AirPods with improved dynamic range. The difference is subtle, but it's there, and that's important because usually you would expect wireless headphones to feature reduced audio fidelity, but that's not the case when comparing the AirPods to the EarPods. Thanks to Apple's W1 wireless chip, the AirPods feature the same handy pairing features as the previously released Beats Solo 3 headphones. The W1 wireless chip makes pairing simple and easy. With Bluetooth enabled, all you need to do is place the AirPods in the charging case and place the case next to your iPhone. A sheet will automatically appear which allows you to pair your AirPods with a single button press. Best of all, once you pair your iPhone, your Apple Watch is automatically able to connect to your AirPods, along with any Mac or iOS device connected to the same iCloud account. And switching between devices? Yes, it's simple and easy, with no Bluetooth related hoops to jump through. Apple provides impressive battery status details via special popovers that appear on your iPhone screen. Users can gain quick access to battery life of individual AirPod units and the charging case. You'll also find your AirPods battery status via the battery widget within Control Center or by simply asking Siri. When you take one of the AirPods out of your ear, audio playback will automatically pause so you can take care of whatever task you need to take care of. And when you place the AirPod back into your ear, the audio playback automatically resumes. Now say you're listening to music on your iPhone speaker and you place one of the AirPods in your ear. Guess what happens? Well, playback will automatically start in the AirPods, which is really cool. And it's also possible to use only one AirPod at a time for taking phone calls or for Siri control and music playback. And the AirPods are smart enough to pipe mono sound through a single AirPod and stereo sound through 2 AirPods. You can quickly access Siri via a double tap on the area above the AirPod stem. You can use Siri to play back songs from your Apple Music library, ask for directions, or use Siri to do anything else it's capable of doing. But what if you don't use Siri? Well, you can outright disable it, or you can assign the double tap function to a play-pause command. Now, my first impressions are this. The AirPods are great. Functionally, they are awesome, but I still feel like they are very polarizing design-wise, and that hasn't changed since they were first revealed at the iPhone 7 event. That bright white casing coupled with that shiny metallic end makes the AirPods stand out in your ears. It almost looks like jewelry or some other bizarre looking earrings, and I'm not a fan of the look, to be honest. And I'd much prefer if the AirPods came in a darker color. Of course, that's just a personal observation. I know looks are going to be highly subjective, so you may or may not agree with my sentiments. But outside of looks, I am largely impressed with the AirPods. They're extremely well built, and the pairing process couldn't be easier. The AirPods are the best wireless earbuds that I've tried thus far, and I've tried quite a few of them. And sound quality is also much better than any truly wireless earbuds that I've tried thus far, by a long shot. The thing that really makes the AirPods shine is that charging case. The fact that you can have more than 24 hours of battery life by means of a charging case that literally fits in the palm of your hand is the AirPods' killer feature. I also like the way that the AirPods magnetically snap into the case for charging, and how the case's lid is perfectly weighted to snap closed and flip open on its metallic hinge. Despite the superlatives, the AirPods aren't perfect. The biggest issue for some will revolve around fit. It's a one-size-should-fit-all product, and as such, some users will experience issues with them falling out of their ears. The lack of a wire pulling on the earbuds definitely helps, but it'll still be an issue for some users. Sound quality, while better than the EarPods, is still limited primarily by physics. The AirPods sound great with clear highs and mids, but the low end is obviously going to be limited in such a small form factor. If you desire lots of thumping bass, you're going to need to look elsewhere, such as the W1 chip-enabled Beats Solo 3. My biggest gripe with the AirPods is the lack of almost any tactile control whatsoever. You have to invoke Siri to do just about anything. You can't even change the volume via the AirPods without invoking Siri, and that's just plain silly in my opinion. Now, Apple does allow you to change what happens when you do that double tap gesture on the AirPods, but it's limited to pausing or playing music using Siri, or having the double tap gesture disabled altogether. I guess Apple figures that many of its users will be controlling music playback and volume via an Apple Watch, but the lack of any sort of control on the device itself outside of Siri or Play Pause makes using the AirPods without an Apple Watch a bit cumbersome. Overall, I have to say I'm pretty happy with the AirPods. They definitely won't replace my Beats Solo 3 wireless for at-home listening, but they're perfect when listening on the go, when traveling, while laying in bed, and for any other activity where it's better to have lightweight, truly wireless earbuds in your ears. Depending on the fit, they may not be perfect for exercise and workouts, but that will largely be a case-by-case basis. And as I stated earlier, I'm not yet sold on the look of the AirPods. They still look a little weird to me. They're a little bit polarizing looks-wise, but I'm hoping that they'll grow on me over time. But outside of looks, the AirPods are an impressive piece of tech that works seamlessly with the Mac, the iPhone, the iPad, and of course the Apple Watch. It'll even work with Android devices, but you don't get access to Siri, and you also don't get the easy pairing and seamless switching afforded by the W1 wireless chip. So, are the AirPods worth $159? If you want the best truly wireless earbuds on the market, then I'd say yes. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section. This is Jeff with 9 to 5 Mac.